Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We've been talking about sabr, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu isbiru wasabiru warabitu wattaqullaha la'allakum tuflihun. O who you believe, have sabr, and then compete in sabr, and then steadfast on it, and have Allah's taqwa, so you can succeed. And we discuss different ayahs, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Ankabut says, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا وَأَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you're just saying that you believe, is that sufficient? Is that enough for your success? You'll be left alone. Allah will not ask you after that. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we have tested people before you, and we will test you. Allah will make it apparent, make it known who is the truth teller and who is the liar. And then you have also in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. O you who believe, seek help. With the sabr, with the patience, and the salah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to, whenever he had faced any difficulty, he will go pray 2 rak'ah and then supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the sunnah for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He didn't turn to people, do me this or help me that and that. Whatever his needs were, he will present to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The most difficult times whenever came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to pray and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that one says, the people who have sabr, inna Allaha ma'as sabirin, Allah is with the people who have sabr. If you have patience and perseverance, Allah will be with you. Allah is with everybody, everywhere, wherever you are. Huwa ma'akum aina ma kuntum. Wherever you are, He is with you. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the nasra, the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with the people who do have the patience. Now today I wanted to discuss some of the ghazwats of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ghazwatul Badr, Uhud, Ahzab, and then other ghazwats, and at the end was Tabuk. The beauty of the Quran is, if you look, Ahzab of the Quran, the second hizb, which consists of Surah An'am, Surah Araf, Surah Anfal, and Surah Tawbah. First two are Makki surahs, and 2/3 of the Quran is Makki Quran. 1/3 is Madani Quran, which was revealed in Medina, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was there. And Surah Badr, if you want to read, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has so many ayahs and so many incidents and so many things which took place in Badr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught about that. And if you look, it's a reflection on the Badr. And Surah Tawbah is reflection on the last battle, the first battle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the last battle of Tabuk. That is in Surah Tawbah. And you have also incident after Fatah Makkah, Hunain. That is also discussed a little bit. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Anfal says, وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ كُلُّهُ لِلَّهِ وَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Fight with them until all the mischief is gone. And this is who it is ordered to, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the rahmatul lil alameen. He was kind to everything, not only human beings. He was kind to the birds, to the animals, to everything. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to establish his deen, and other place he told him, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين ولو كره المشركون. He sent his messenger. This was the whole purpose of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam coming on this earth. Allah has sent his messenger with the guidance and deen al-haq, the true deen. So it can supersede all other idyan, all the other systems. And Allah will not accept any deen on the day of judgment except Islam. He made it very clear in Surah Al Imran, Inna deena indallahi al-Islam. Deen is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Islam. In the same surah he says, whoever brings beside Islam, it will not be accepted on the day of judgment. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told he has to fight. And as you know, when they were in Makkah, the order of the day from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was in the Makkah, Kuffu aydiyakum. Keep your hands tied. In Surah Nasa. Pray and ask help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Kuffu aydiyakum. So you would not see they were beaten, they were tortured, they were humiliated, they were dead. Everything was done to them, but they never raised their hand. And one Sahabi raised one time hand. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him that if you cannot tolerate, get out of Makkah. Don't stay in it. So we have to see what stage the dawah is. Dawah for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that time was to consolidate himself, accumulate his strength. And once he was reaching after he had gone hijrah. Once the hijrah took place, these ayahs, this ayah especially from Surah Hajj came, أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا تَكُونُ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونُ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. Here is a kulluhu. In Surah Anfal, kulluhu is added, but in Surah Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not add that in telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he has to fight and he has to establish the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, during his Khilafah, he says, Islam will come the way it came first time, the same fashion. We have to gather, we have to prepare for it, make our force, and then go from there. And a lot of people think they will do coup or something, and the problem with that becomes your masses are not educated. They don't have, except Salah, except Salam, except Zakah or Hajj. If somebody does that, they think they did the total Islam. And that's where we stand today. And majority of them, they don't even do the Salah. Forget the rest. And half of them might do fasting. And Hajj, they think that is supposed to be at the end of their lifetime. And as I read you ayah from Surah Anfal, this ayah in Surah Tawbah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةَ. Allah has bought. If you really believer, your anfus, your souls, وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ, and their wealth, بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةَ, for the paradise. You don't own it. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns it. يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَيَقْتُلُونَ وَيُقْتَلُونَ. They fight in Allah's way. سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. فَيَقْتُلُونَ وَيُقْتَلُونَ. They kill and they get killed. وَعْدًا عَلَيْهِ حَقًّا فِي التَّوْرَاةِ وَالْإِنْجِيلِ وَالْقُرْآنِ. Allah has promised this haqq in the Torah, in the Injil, and in the Quran. And what did the people of Musa alayhi salam said when they were told to go fight? And Allah have reserved for you the Palestine. And they say, it's a banta. You go, your Lord go, and go fight. We are sitting here unless those all people move away from there. And we Muslims are saying today the same thing. You go fight, we'll come when you establish it. We have taken that same thing which was Bani Israel took at the Musa alayhi salam time. It's interesting, if you look the seerah for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Ghazwats, and this starts on the 2nd Hijri and it finishes on the 9th Hijri. In 8 years, he had taken whole Arabia under his command and sent the letters to the Romans, to the Egyptians, to the Iranians. All of them were told. And these are not only Ghazwats, also Saraya. Little battlefield. Ghazwa was in which Rasulullah himself participated. Saraya is when he sent expedition to go fight, but he did not participate, he guided them. And these ghazwas are mentioned, like I said. First one is in Anfal, and it came in Ramadan. Next month is Ramadan is coming. We remember about fasting, but most of the time we forget it's on the 17th of Ramadan when Ghazwatul Badr took place. And then following year, you guys keep bringing the water.
Oh, you have water? Oh, somebody bring water.
This is the third glass.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Shukr. I didn't get that thirsty yet. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. And then after Ghazwatul Badr, there was Ghazwatul Bani Kana, that was the Jews, and the third year was Ghazwatul Uhud. Uhud is mentioned in Surah Al-Imran, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what Sahaba did and what the result was and all that. And it starts somewhere 120 ayahs to 180, 60 ayahs are devoted to that. Then you had Ahzab, which came on the 5th Hijri, and then Ghazwat Banu Nadir, which is not mentioned in the Quran, and which is mentioned in the Quran in Surah Hashr, where Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ordered to cut those trees, and that. And then Ghazwatul Ahzab came after that. And these were the ghazwas where the turning point after Ahzab. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was in Ahzab, and difficulty with it, hunger. And Sahaba was saying, well, we have no food, and we tied stones to our stomach. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam lifted, and he showed 2 stones to his belly. And that was Surah Ahzab, but when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the winds, and Ahzab they all left, then after that, ghazwas, there are other ghazwas which are not mentioned, Ghazwatul Marasiyah, Ghazwatul Bani Mustalik, and then took place Sulh Hudaybiyah. And Sulh Hudaybiyah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina, we have given you biggest of the victory. And that tied the hands of the kuffar. First they could attack, but then they had made Sulh with the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they made him as a party who they can face to. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that did Fatah Makkah. And Fatah Makkah took place in the 8th year of Hijri and the 9th year of Hajj. That year, 8th year, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam let the kuffar do the Hajj. 9th year, he sent Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, and Abu Bakr Siddiq was there. After that, he started sending the letters to Romans, to the Egyptians, and to the Iranians. The Iranians king tore the letter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that he tore his kingdomship. And not only that, he tore the letter, he sent his people, and he was ruling at that time Yemen. He told them, who's this person who's writing me letters? who is doing this. So go capture him and bring him to my kingdomship. Upon that, Rasulullah said, come tomorrow morning. They came tomorrow morning. He said, your king has been killed by his own son in Iran. So the Iranian king was killed. And the Romans had fought with Rasulullah when Sahaba, he sent 3,000, and that's Jang-e Mauta when he was not in it. And Khalid bin Walid, radiallahu anh, he saved the Muslims and he brought them back. But the people in Medina, they were upset with them. They said, you all should have died there, not come to Medina. You got defeated. And Rasulullah said, no, it is okay to come from the battlefield. Allah permits that. But you cannot run away from the battlefield just to save your life, but you have to fight. But if the leader decide it's better for us not to fight now and save our lives, so they saved them. Then Rasulullah Tabuk took place in the 9th year, and he took them up north, 600-700 miles away from Medina. And they didn't have food, they didn't have any kind of means. A lot of them didn't have enough animals to ride. So all of that and the food became so scarce. Rasulullah ordered to them, he said that you should suck on the date and then give it to your brother. Don't eat it. And that much food was only available. But then the Roman king, with 200,000 soldiers, he didn't even show up on the battlefield because he knew, and he told the people that whenever Allah's messenger came, the other side always got defeated. So he didn't want to face a defeat. He kept with all the horses, everything, and he did not want to come. Rasulullah stayed there 2 months and preached to the people in Syria, and he had made a lot of people Muslims, and then he established some of the government in that part of it, and then he returned. Now, the life of Rasulullah in Medina, when he reached in Medina, there were 2 people at that time, and one's name was Abu Amr, and other was Abdullah bin Abi bin Salul. Abu Amr was known for his piety, religiosity. He was known well at that time. But Abdullah bin Abi bin Salul, he was considered to be a politician, he's smart, and all that. And there were 2 tribes in there. One was Aus, the other one was Khazraj. Aus was small party, Khazraj was the big party. Khazraj was almost 3/4 of them, and 1/4 was Aus. So this Abdullah bin Abi bin Salul and Abu Amr, they were both from Khazraj. When Rasulullah reached there, and they were ready to crown Abdullah bin Abi bin Salul as the king of Medina. But that his dream was failed because they could not do it when Rasulullah reached there. Now Rasulullah without the crown, he is the king. And everything is. And the other one, Abu Amr, his piety was not, superseding the other Sahaba and Rasulullah. So they became friendly, or they became brothers to each other. But Abdullah bin Abi bin Salul, since he had lost his status, and his dream was to be king of Medina. He could not, so he became munafiq. When Badr took place, there is some of the people were showing some of the strain at that time, but it didn't show up until the Uhud. In the Badr, if you look in Surah Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you were given the choice to go to battle in Badr or go to capture the Abu bin Sufyan's caravan. So you can get all the booty and the money from him. Upon that, some of the people were inclined, now let's not fight, but have the booty from Abu bin Sufyan. But Abu bin Sufyan, when he found out people in Medina are preparing to attack them, he got by the coast of the Red Sea and he got away. But at the same time, people of Makkah, they were angry and they prepared 1,000 people to come and fight with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Sufyan sent them a message and he says, we are safe, so you don't have to come and you don't have to fight, so you just come back home. It was Abu Jahl who was the hawks, and he wanted to go and fight with. He says, I want to finish Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all the people, so they don't stop our tribes or our business, which is between Syria and Mecca. And from Mecca to Yemen, they were taking all this. There was also another incident took place when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to Medina, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was Sa'd bin Mu'az. There is Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, who was a young man who became Muslim, early part. And this is Sa'd bin Mu'az. And he went for the Umrah. Abu Jahl saw him. He says, who's this sahib? Who's this person? He said, he is from Medina, and he is from the chiefs of Medina. Abu Jahl was very upset with him, and he says, you gave protection to the people who run away from us. So if you don't expel them from Medina, we are going to stop you coming to the Hajj or the Umrah. Sa'd bin Mu'az, he was very smart, and he right away said, if you do that, and don't let us do the Hajj, and don't let us do, and don't let us do the Umrah, what we are going to do is stop your caravans in Medina. We would not let you do the business, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam later on did. And when you do that, stopping their business, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was threat to their business coming from Medina going to the Syria and back. So they wanted to finish Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why the Badr took place. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he got out of Badr, he wanted the opinion of the Sahaba. It was, some say it was inside Medina, others say it was outside of Medina. when he asked, and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, he gave a speech which was full of jihad, and he wanted to fight for Allah's sake. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not give too much importance to that. The second speech was given by Hazrat Umar radiallahu anh. And Hazrat Umar was similar to what Abu Bakr Siddiq said. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam still did not pay much attention to that. Then third person, who was Hazrat Maqdad radiallahu anh, he gave the reference of the Bani Israel and said, Isab anta wa rabbahu faqatila inna hahuna qaidun. He says, Bani Israel said to Musa alayhi salam, you go and your Lord go and fight with, we are sitting here, we are not going nowhere. Upon that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam still was looking somebody from Ansar, the people who had given the bay'ah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. And then this is another Sa'd. So from Sa'd bin Ibadah, like I said, Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, Sa'd bin Maz, and Sa'd bin Ibadah, he stood up. He was among the chieftain of the Ansar, from the people of the Medina. Upon that, he said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, forget what bay'ah we gave you. Forget whatever we did, our contract, that if you come here, we'll treat you as a family, and we will protect you as our family. But they had not said what they will do if he goes and fight outside of Medina. And this Sa'd bin Ibadah radiallahu anh, he said, we will go as far as you want us to go. If you want us to go to the sea and run our horses through, we'll run our horses through. As far as you want to go, we will make our camels hungry, and lager means thin, and we will cooperate with you. We will do all the things. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was smiling then. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went and fought with the kuffar. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to prepare. He had the contract when he came to Medina. He made the contract with the Jews. There were 3 tribes of the Jews. He made everybody conditional that if you were attacked, we'll protect you. If we get attacked, you will protect us. You will help us. You would not help the other people from outside. The Jews were such a way tied with the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's contract, they couldn't do nothing. Though behind, they will backbite, they will tell the kuffar of Medina, Mecca, that come and we will help you. But because of their breaking these kind of things, they were expelled. And one tribe it's all the healthy young people were killed because of their not obeying what the contract was. So they were expelled from there, and they moved to Khaybar, and Battle of Khaybar came, and they were expelled from there. And during the time of Hazrat Umar radiallahu anh, they were all expelled from there. And that's why when you look at the maps of Israel today, they want to go all the way up to Medina and have Israel up to Medina. And they want to have Iraq, and they want to have all that, which was at the time of Sulaiman alayhi salam. So they want to have all that territory under their reign. But as you know, when in Badr, we know that Muslims defeated the kuffar. Their assembly of their big leaders were killed, and there were only few Muslims who died in Badr. And it kind of gave the impression to all around, and people started respecting all the Muslims. They start coming to Islam, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called it Ghazwatul Badr as Yawmul Furqan. Yawmul Furqan to make clearly day of between the believers and the non-believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in Surah Anfal, which I started. Anfal is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the believers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ الْوَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَتُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. Definitely, believers are those, when the name of Allah is taken, their hearts tremble. And when the ayahs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is read upon them, زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, Iman increases for them. وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ, and they believe, or they do all the dependence on their Lord. الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, and they establish the prayer and the spend which we have given to them. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ حَقًّا, those are the true moments, those are the true believers. لَهُمْ دَرَجَاتٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ, for them is the level of Jannah, darajat. And for them is maghfirah, forgiveness, وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ, and the nice livelihood. And the same thing at the end of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also describe of this surah, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَهَاجَرُوا وَجَاهَدُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ آوَوا وَنَصَرُوا أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ حَقًّا لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ. Those people who do the hijrah. Because above in Surah Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the people who do not do hijrah with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and go to Medina, they are not from you. But as they moved and they helped, and the people in Medina who were Nasaru, they helped. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ حَقًّا, Allah said those are the true believers. لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ, for them is forgiveness and rizqun kareem. And also in Surah Al Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا وَأُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ وَأُوذُوا فِي سَبِيلِي وَقَاتَلُوا وَقُتِلُوا. Those people who do the hijrah and they've been expelled from their houses and they've been harmed because they were in Allah's ways, and they fought and they got killed and they killed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing different aspects of the believers, how they did. In Surah Nur, one reflection of the believer is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given رِجَالٌ لَا تُلْهِهِمْ تِجَارَةٌ وَلَا بَيْعٌ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةَ وَإِيتَاءَ الزَّكَاةَ. Those people, they never get lazy in their business or in their dealing about the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You could be driving, you could be at job, you could be anywhere, you can still be doing the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's with your heart and with your tongue. And then establishing the prayer and giving the zakah. يَخَافُونَ يَوْمَ تَتَقَلَّبُ فِيهِ الْقُلُوبُ وَالْأَبْصَارُ, and they fear that day. If you're really a believer, you fear they'll see what we have done. A man will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And he will ask, I gave you these blessings. I gave you this, 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 this. What did you do for me? And if we can answer that, we succeed. If we cannot answer on the day of judgment that when each one of us, including myself, have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and answer that question, what we did for him. And then Allah, if you're really believer, he will say, you did all those things, I forgive you. Maghfirah. And if he forgives you, you succeeded. But if he took the account, that's the difficult day. And then Hazrat Aisha asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that is going to be account for everybody. He says, she's asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, yep. And if your account is taken, you are in trouble. If IRS calls you and say, bring your account, we want to see how much tax you paid, you tremble at home just sitting there thinking that what I'm going to answer to them. And the same thing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he takes the account, you are in trouble. And that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told, Hazrat Aisha said, Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. Oh Allah, take our account, easy account. So Allah make us success in that. And this is a short way of talking about Ghazwatul Badr and Surah Al-Anfal. And next time we'll talk about Uhud and Ahzab. And these all battles are important to know what happened. Why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to go 8 years in fighting from 2nd Hijri up to the 9th. And he had to fight all those battles and prepare them. It is not that he liked to fight. If they had accepted Islam, or if they had accepted the superiority of Islam by itself, he didn't have to fight. And when the people in Mecca accepted him and he took over Mecca without fighting, he forgave everybody. And he says, no blame on you, just like Yusuf ﷺ said in Surah Yusuf, that no blame is upon you today. The same thing Rasulullah ﷺ told the people of Makkah, no blame on you, I forgive you, all of you. So Allah guide us and give us the understanding. Allahumma fakkina fi ddin, Allahumma ashfi mardana. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.